Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and user interfaces are a big part of a game and a game's success. So today we're going to look at some of the technologies behind those user interfaces, and we're going to start things off with the daddy. There was one tech that owned the industry, and that was Scaleform. Now, you're going to notice I am talking in past tense. You see, Scaleform was a standalone company. Eventually, in 2011, it was purchased by Autodesk, and then in 2017, well, they did this. The thing is, Scaleform was massive. It was built on Flash. You embedded a Flash player inside of your game. Literally thousands of commercial games used Scaleform, and then Apple pretty much killed Flash, and then Autodesk killed off Scaleform. So nobody's using Scaleform anymore unless they are supporting a legacy game, such as, for example, World of Tanks, just moved their interface away from Scaleform literally in 2025. So Scaleform was the biggest thing in this space, but since then we have moved on. So where are we getting our game interfaces from now? Well, one of the most obvious answers is your game engine. So in the world of, say, Unity, the newest, sexiest option out there is the UI toolkit. Now, this was only recently added. This was added in Unity 6, and key features are still being brought online. So there's not a lot of games out there that use the UI toolkit yet, but that is the future technology for creating game UIs inside of the Unity game engine. Now, that's not the only option when it comes to Unity. In fact, there's a bunch. There's the Unity UI or ImGui. This was, I think, more for low-level stuff, but it was used for all kinds of Unity games as well. On top of that, we also have the immediate mode GUI. This, again, is very much aimed at programmers, I believe, more for creating extensions inside of the Unity editor itself. And then on top of all that, you have the asset store, where there are currently 1,483 entries into the tools/GUI section of the asset store. There's a couple of them that were more popular than others, things like Doozy, and then you've got other things like embedding a web view inside of your game and so on. So there's a ton of third-party solutions there as well. I'm not going to get into those at all. Now we move over into the Unreal Engine built inside of the equation, and here we have a couple of options. At the lowest level, you have Slate. This is basically a raw API for creating your own user interface technology. On top of that, if you do not want to work at that low of a level, you have UMG. Now, UMG, or Unreal Motion Graphic, is a more Scaleform-esque solution built on top of Slate. And if this is still not high enough level for you, on top of UMG, they released Common UI. Now, this is a framework built on top of UMG, was used for Fortnite and the Lyra game demo and others for creating games. So this is for cross-platform games, say you're working with a console and you need to do controller-driven inputs, etc. That is what this handles for you. So those are the three major solutions, all at different heights in the technology stack, different levels of low-level code versus high-level designer type stuff. That is Unreal Engine's solution. And of course, Unreal Engine has an asset store. Inside of that asset store, they have a section specifically for UI, and it has 1.1 thousand entries there as well. Now, I'm not going to get into any of those. Just do be aware that there are literally tons of third-party options in the Unreal Engine ecosystem as well. And then we move on to Godot. Now, Godot has, since the very beginning, had a very robust UI system built in. A number of node building blocks there, widgets for designing and controlling, creating these things. It's actually one of the reasons why Godot is used so successfully to create so many applications. So out of the box, Godot has actually really amazing UI support, literally turnkey. On top of that, they have their own asset library as well, with a number of UI frameworks built in there as well. So if you're interested, all three of those game engines have an ecosystem of UI technologies that you can use, but there's also a number of third-party tools out there, and that's what we were going to cover next. Now, one of the most popular ones out there is Dear ImGui. IM stands for immediate mode. Basically, you redraw the user interface every single frame. But the thing about Dear ImGui, even though it has been used for a number of game UIs, this is more about creating tools. So here you can see the kind of stuff that you create with it. So you're probably not going to use ImGui for your client-facing side of your game, but you might use it for your level editor side. It's very, very popular for that. A number of game engines, open source game engines, are actually built on top of ImGui for their level editing tools. But in terms of games, a little bit less use here just because it's not really what it's for. But then we get into the commercial options here. This is one that I looked at in depth twice now actually on the channel, and that's the NoesisGUI. Now this is a collection of things. So it is user interface middleware. It uses XAML, which was from Microsoft's Expressions and Blend suite of tools for doing the markup of your level. So you can use Microsoft Expressions to create your user interface, but they also have their own editor now. So this is probably the most direct competitor you're going to find to OG Scaleform, but instead of using Flash, it's using XAML. And you can see some of the games that were created using it on screen right now. The biggest ones you're going to notice, no doubt, have to be Baldur's Gate 3, but then you got Senua's Sacrifice, the Hellblade 2 version, Age of Wonders 4, gives you an idea of some of the commercial games created using the Noesis system. Again, there are a couple different products here, so you've also got Studio, which is a user interface for actually creating games as well. Again, I have done a video on Noesis, the GUI, and Noesis, the editor here as well. And they both have, so if you go back to Noesis itself, it does have runtimes for a variety of different game engines. So Unity, Unreal, and then your own custom game engine, or if you want to implement it into like Godot, you could do this using GD extensions, however you wish. So that is that kind of concept right there. So it does come with runtimes for Unreal and Unity, and then again, C++ API for integrating it into your own game engines. Another one we have here is Coherent Labs Gameface. So Gameface is again, same kind of concept, but unlike what we just talked about with Noesis, which was built around XAML, this is built around CSS and HTML and JavaScript. So if you're used to web technologies, that is what Gameface offers to you. Again, I think that CSS is the work of the devil. I can't stand CSS. I have always found it the most frustrating and unintuitive framework for this stuff ever created, but some people know it and love it or have already gone through the pain. As you can see here, Unreal Engine and Unity, as well as C++ runtime here as well, and a variety of platforms, including all of the major consoles. That's where Noesis and Gameface really shine. They are production ready on pretty much any platform you could ever imagine. And of course, they have all of the tooling needed to create your user interfaces as well. But this one, again, is designed around the idea of JavaScript and HTML for your user interface, whereas the previous one was XAML. And then on top of that, games created using Gameface include the likes of Civilization 7, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake, Minecraft. Then we've got Flight Simulator, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Control, Godfall. This is what World of Tanks ultimately ported to away from Scaleform. So as you can see from the fact that a previously Scaleform title has switched over to using Gameface, you get an idea. It is very much aimed at the same demographic that Scaleform once served. So those are probably the two most popular in terms of commercial middleware, is NoesisGUI and then Gameface by Coherent Labs. But then we've got a couple of others. A new one out there is Rive. Now, Rive, you might know, they create what is it, InDesign-esque vector graphics editor. And then what they've done is they've created a special version of their runtime. So you can use this to create UIs, animations, and so on. So this is a full vector graphics animation tool that they've created called the Rive Editor. Well, what they've done since then is created a specific runtime of it specifically for games. Now, I don't know what titles are using this specifically right now, but you can see it's got runtimes for Unreal, Unity, and the default game engine as well. And then, of course, your custom C++ backend is out there as well. But you can see some of these are tagged as coming soon. By far and away, Rive is the youngest of the options that we were talking about today. So you've got right now Unreal and C++ as the only fully shipped options out there. But that is another option. This one is, again, going to tightly integrate with their tools. So you get a user interface designer, the Rive designer, and then the Rive game runtime is how that one works out. And then we have FairyGUI. Now, I actually have no concept of who uses FairyGUI, how popular FairyGUI is. You can check it out for free, which I'm going to have to do at some point in the future. As you may be able to tell from this video, the fact that this is either Chinese or Japanese or some kind of an Asian character set. This is popular in Asia. I don't know, again, very much about it, but it's the same concept. It's got runtimes for game engines and some that you don't normally see. Cocos, Unreal, Unity, Gret. Solar 2, Laya Air, 3JS, and more. So there are a variety of different runtimes available. Weirdly, no Unreal Engine 5 showing yet, but a number of different options out there. I have no history or experience with FairyGUI, but I figured you guys would probably want to know about it for completeness. And that is the list. So again, coming back to Scaleform, it's kind of the UI layer that started it all. Since then, all of the game engines have their own UI solution. And as you saw, there are some third-party options out there. Let me know if I missed some. No doubt there are more, but hopefully I gave you an idea of what games are using for their UI layer. Again, if you have more suggestions, please do let me know in the comments down below, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.